Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Mal Plays some more Pillars of Eternity, where we're going to go to the Sanitarium. Oh, Christ. Duh. A curved spine twists this woman's posture forward, her greasy hair draped over her large eyes like vines. She smiles at you. You must be visiting someone. Then, noting your appearance, she adds, a friendly visit, I hope. Hey, the patients here have been acting unusually. Well, there's Batixa, who relives a murder she committed more than 5 lifetimes ago. Idelman, who they say only has half a soul and who has found a collecting the faces of others, because he believes his own to be a false one. Grammy speaks a language no one understands and wails at night sometimes. Different from the normal behavior, I mean. Well, yeah, I suppose, but nothing they didn't volunteer for. Masterazzo let us know that a number of patients in the North Ward had volunteered for a new therapy and would be escorted to his laboratory to receive treatment. The North Ward has our most troubled cases. Glad some of them have chosen to get help. Seems to me it's gotten quiet over there since it started. Scram I see them taking in the most. He struggles, but he's always a bit of a wild one. What do you know about this Animancer Azzo? Oh, I like him very much. Many Animancers could care less about the patients. Look at us like vermin for their experiments. Master Azzo treats us like humans, even the very sick. You can tell he does this to help people. He's helped me understand a great deal about myself, and I know he's done the same for others. Too bad what they did to him. He hides it well, but I know he's still affected by it. What do you mean? What happened to him? Braille's eyes dart back and forth, and her voice lowers to just above a whisper. They don't like to talk about it, but there was an accident. He was said to be one of the brightest in Deerwood. That was his reputation here, and that was what brought me to seek treatment. People say it was ego that drove him to try and solve the legacy, but that's hogwash, even if he was a bit of a showman. He loves his homeland. He thought he could help. He wasn't one to speak of his work. Suspected his colleagues might have tried to steal it, but he told me once that he had figured out a way to create a soul. Not a soul exactly, mind you. How did he put it? Proxy, I think he called it. It's some machine that drew energy out of the very ether. Can you imagine? The point is, it was going to help with the legacy. It was going to make Hollowborn into something easier to love and care for. God knows, that's something we need. You know what they call those empty little babies in Andra's gifts? No, tell me. They call them boys, because so many of them are found floating face down in the water. These are mad times. Anyway, Master Azzo had scheduled a public demonstration of his work in Copper Lane. He was so excited. And then the next day, he's locked in his office, turning away visitors, I heard. And he stopped seeing patients. I don't know what exactly happened, and I don't have the heart to ask him, but I'm glad to letting him treat people again. What are you in here? I don't want to say. You'll think less of me. Your blush brings out the color of your eyes. Her blush deepens, and she ducks her head forward to bring her face deeper beneath her hair. These last few years have been kind to me. They haven't been kind to anyone, really. I try not to think of it as personal. I lost my husband and both boys in the Saints' War. My daughter, the legacy took her before she was ever mine. May do. What else can you do? Moved into a tiny place in Andra's gift. Got by mending clothes and on the kindness of strangers when I had to. But I was surviving and the gods were watching over me. I could live with that. The one day this noble woman comes in, wants this fancy gown fixed. Gorgeous thing, this shade of blue I've never seen before. Only I had. I looked at it, and it reminded me of something. I had what they call an awakening. I remembered being a noble woman myself in another life. People doting over me, men doting over me. Me! The best food, the most beautiful home, all the things you'd never dare to dream of. They were mine. It was poison, knowing that. All those things I had that I'll never have in this life. It did something to me. My food started to taste rotten. The walls of my little room seemed to be closing around me. I stopped being able to sleep in my own bed. So I came here. I was at a break into an estate and started ordering servants around. Seems like such a silly thing to worry about. You don't have to tell me, but I can't get past it, and I start to wonder, did the gods choose this life for me? And if so, what terrible thing must I have done to deserve it? Maybe we'll get there again one day. If not in this life, then in another. Strange part is I think even the best wouldn't be good enough for me anymore. I think it must have gotten to the point where I think it must have gotten to that point when I was that noble lady. Farewell. She's a cool character. Hi, patience. I will not steal your ale. You guys need that, I'm sure. That's scary. No, speak. I'm sure you don't. Why are these guys down here? What's this?
Nice and slow.
Restores from living lands. Ocean Iron Skin. Steal it all! Dozens. Yeah, we have that book. I'm afraid of going through that door for some reason. High flesh construct. Which way's north in this? Compass? Please? Lidless eyes? Oh, God. This is a real shithole. Like a real shithole.
Keeping an eye out.
Something churns bubbles in the tank. Ooh, Raven wing, sorry. It's pretty cool. We'll take that. Might put that on. Oh, yeah. That's pretty good light armor. Take that as well. A round-faced, balding man turns to face you. His upper lip is pulled upward slightly by his pointed nose, exposing his upper teeth when he scowls.
What is the meaning of this?
What is the meaning of this? Like access to the North Ward? Out of the question. Those patients are in isolation for a reason. Your forehead seems damp all of a sudden. Perhaps I should discuss your insubordination with the head warden.
Smug cretin. How dare you come down here and meddle? You have no idea the importance of my research.
He balls up his fist and digs his teeth into his index finger, growls summoning beneath his breath and a deep scowl compressing his face.
Fine. Speak to them for all the good it'll do you. I'm sure the discussions will be fascinating.
Thelamir told me you're not supposed to be doing any more experiments. Yes, well, a Thelamir hasn't done much good for anybody since he had his soul moved into an inanimate object, so I fail to see why I should let that sway me. If Animancers all followed the command of their leaders, where would we be? We'd all be as backward and willful ignorant as Red Karas. We'd know nothing about life or death or even ourselves. We'd be lost in the darkness with no clue as to why. Our leaders guide us, and without them, we risk losing our way. This man would strike off on his own and let him fend for himself without the benefit of the Sanitarium. Seems to me we're still in the dock.
Is that a reason to stop trying? Shall we remain in the dark until the end of time and have the last breath of the last person alive be breathed in ignorance? The gods want us to know. The clues are all around us. In understanding these truths, we honor their creation. Who will solve Widewen's legacy? Some church? Some warrior? It will be an Animancer, or it will be no one at all.
Heard you were demoted. How did it happen? That's none of your concern. Did one of the others put you up to this? Audmur? That smug weasel. Things went wrong. Everything, I don't know how. I'll never know. You tried your experiments on any other subjects? I have, yes. No point in lying about it now that Nathalimir's involved. I asked for volunteers from our patients, and a few brave souls came forward. I was very close at one time to breakthrough. They understood that. I understood their sacrifices would mean something. Oh god. I'm, concerned?
Let's see what lies this way.
Yeah, concerned would be a good word to use in this situation. Well, okay, that's the ward. All right, north is upright. All right, let's remember that.
Hello? Hello?
Which is in that cell back there? We've answers with people's got close. What do you mean? Witches. Cell where? That's the common room.
Keeping
Can
quiet.
I not door that? Fine. Fine, we won't door that. Go door this. Is this my face? Tell me! This is not my face. Oh, look at this. Whose face is this? Thundering sky, rain of blood, incidents must drown! Okay. The man has the look in his eyes of a hunted animal, and at your approach, he would staggers backwards to the far corner of a cell, halfway appearing as though he would climb the walls of it, if it would get him farther away from you. He cries out, a bizarre, primal utterance like nothing you've heard. To ask you some questions. Graham looks at you blankly. It is unclear whether he understands you or not, but his panic has momentarily subsided. He opens his mouth to speak, but the words that come out are half-formed, as though his tongue were cut out. They are impossible for you to discern, if indeed they are words at all. Those animancers did this to him. You can see what comes with their meddling. Frail says you're between being treated by Cadman Azo. Looks at you with uncertainty. Slowly, tenderly, he steps close to the front of his cell, and as he does so, for the first time you can perceive a soul within your ken. It is misshapen, misshapen, as though maimed by some jagged instrument, and large expanse of it has been gouged out entirely. You feel no barriers of resistance. If you wanted to, you could look into his soul. Dubstep time. Project outward toward the maimed soul in front of you, merging with it, its confusion and fear becoming yours as it whisks you into its depths. You're in your cell. A key turns. The door creaks open on neglected hinges. Thoughts come to you in waves, incomplete, broken, fearful. Staying at the door is a rotund, balding man. His upper teeth and pointing nose remind you of a rat. He beckons, apologetic. You don't want to go. Anything else in your mind is a single word, and the word is no. But it dissolves before it reaches your lips. You press against the back wall, cornered. You cry out. In darkness, you fight against unseen restraints. You cannot move your arms or legs. The man walks into the room carrying a lit candle, its meager flame casting long shadows across books and machinery. Straps bind your arms and legs. Cold metal circumscribes the crown of your head and the breadth of your chest. The man is sorry. He is in need of raw materials. They dismantled his work and he needs another source. He needs to show them he was right. He thanks you. Then he turns a knob and you feel yourself begin to crack from within, and you can feel pieces of you torn away, like having your insides chewed by a horde of rats. And you are screaming, a scream that you can barely hear. Another night, heavy footsteps outside your door, coming for you. You look through a slit in your door. The flesh giant, the artificial being, just outside, but facing left, facing the end of the hall. The boy there. The boy looks with interest at the giant, then collapses to the floor like a shed snakeskin. The giant convulses for a moment, he rights itself, turns away, and leaves. Graham looks at you, still wild-eyed, but somehow more present. He nods at you, then walks back to the end of his cell. Okay.
These poor people. This isn't the treatment that they were promised upstairs by the cushioned seats and lush carpets. Is that the cure for soul sickness? To be thrown into a cell and subjected to the whims of your captor?
Sandamances are as mad as the patients. But if all were treated like this, the sanitarium would never survive. What did these patients do to warrant such conditions? Here's the source of all that knowledge you were so giddy about. It's one thing to be told as much, another to see it yourself. Let's be on our way. This place gnaws at the soul. Knock knock. Uskrim, a willowy adolescent boy, stands in the center of a cell, gawkish and stoop-shouldered. He stares straight ahead, the occasional blink his only movement, and it is unclear whether he registers your presence at all behind his glassy, doll-like eyes. In this state, the barriers between your soul and his are thin and porous, easily bypassed if you should wish it. You close your eyes and edge forward towards the boy's soul, and as you near, a sudden malaise comes over you. You are cold and warm all at once, sweating and shivering and straining for breath as you did on the caravan journey. The soul you approach is the wrong one, a parasitic plant that strangles its host. It is predatory and pitiless, and you have crossed paths with it before. Too late does it occur to you to retract, and already you feel yourself plunging into some interminable abyss of thought and memory. You're standing in the cell now, the same cell, in the sanitarium. The halls are moonlit and empty, and you are waiting. At the far end of the ward, the door opens, revealing a flesh golem in silhouette beneath the stone archway. It makes its usual rounds, the same stops every time, the misbegotten child of despondent creators. When the construct is close, you coil yourself up and spring forward, passing out of the boy's body as though it were a membrane. You can sense his body behind you, collapsing to the floor, a puppet whose strings are cut. You are rushing towards the golem now, bodiless as a gust of wind. Quickly, you think to yourself, quickly, and you feel the strength hemorrhaging from your soul as you dart towards the makeshift abomination. You pass into the golem's shell and overtake the soul implanted within it, encircling it, suppressing it, and contained in this new vessel you are strong again. You step heavy-footed down corridors unheeded by the other constructs and scrutinized only by the wary, untrustworthy eyes of the mad, coming at last to an office piled with books and scribbled papers and the perverse implements of animancy. You set your oversized hands upon a large machine, a nest of globes and tubes and coils in the center of the room, and go to work, bending wires and unsettling alignments. Your surroundings are pulled past you, or perhaps you are pulled past them, and they dissolve into a blur. When they settle into place again, you're outside on a clear day, standing in front of a crowd stacked high above you on the tiered seats of an amphitheater. You're acting for the crowd, standing deliberately still, but this is no play. A balding man with rodent-like features is strapping you to the machine, the one you had tampered with. You see your arms for the first time, short and fleshy, unmistakably those of a little girl, but this body is not truly yours. Your mind still holds the same determination, the same hard-heartedness as before. The body itself is cold and vacuous, unlike the others. This one has no soul of its own. The man speaks and the crowd applauds with an enthusiasm worthy of a hero's entrance. Bear witness, he says, and he pulls the lever. The machine shivers and sparks, and a bead of sweat rolls down the side of the man's brow, but the crowd's apprehension quickly gives way to awe as a crystal globe fills the radiant mist that casts the entire theater aglow. He opens a valve, and the glow crawls through a tube along a length of copper wiring that runs into a set of electrodes beneath your armpits. You feel nothing when it reaches you, as it should be, for you have been leading this work astray periodically for some time, altering notes and settings and playing puppeteer for Hollowborn. You make it look how people would expect it to look when a body is infused with the soul. In a moment, the machine goes dark, and the man unstraps you, eyeing you with a scientist's concern. He looks back up at the crowd. Behold, he says, but there's obvious hesitation in his voice. Slowly, you take a plodding step forward, then another, and another. You look up at the man, giving him the eye contact of which no Hollowborn is capable, and the crowd gasps. The man looks relieved. How do you feel? He asks at a volume meant for the crowd, and this is the moment, at the top of your lungs, you let out a piercing shriek. The man comes towards you, his hand outstretched. You run the other way, back to the machine. With all your strength, you drive your head into the crystal globe, and it shatters, streaking your head with warm blood. You drive your head down onto the surface of the machine again and again, drawing panicked screams from the crowd. By the time the man reaches you, your body has already ceased proper function and merely twitches on the cold ground. Satisfied, you depart the corpse in search of another unsuspecting host. Who could put their faith in animancy now? You're pulled again from your surroundings, transcending the boundaries of memories and lifetimes, deeper and deeper past betrayals and murders and lies upon lies that form the thick webbing of plots beyond mortal comprehension. You settle last on a room you have seen before, expansive, with a tall device encasing an Audra monolith at its center. The room is filled with people, and the people all look at the device. You are yanked suddenly back to reality, and the once catatonic boy in his cell is looking directly at you, appraising, calculating. There's no mistaking now that this is the soul of the man who caused your awakening, that gazes out from that borrowed husk. A watcher. I believe we shared a common past. I'm just looking for some answers. Is that so? He makes no effort to hide his disinterest, but he continues to search your eyes. He makes a slight grunting noise, and his eyes soften for an instant, and it seems, for that moment, that he recognizes you. He opens his mouth to speak, then seems to think better of what he's about to say. His jaw tightens. I know your look, your hunger for answers that elude you. It gnaws at your soul. It usurps your reason for being. You're like everyone. I will help you let go. He dodges backwards with startling grace, putting himself out of reach. On his face there is no malice, only the dispassion of a farmer putting down the sick animal. Then suddenly, he slumps forward. What? God damn it. Okay. Let's wheel. Let's fight. Oh, jeez. Yeah, let's get that down. What are you doing? Oh, boy. Okay. Let's get those defenses up. Kana, you can Boreman. Alright, good. Somebody down. The buddies. Oh, I don't want to kill them, but get him. Eater. Knockdown. Oh, the sadness. Okay, I have a bunch of debuffs on me. Where is the anti-debuff thing? I don't remember. And we need to get somebody on him. Actually, kinda, let's throw a dot at this guy. Get him off the rants. No, get back here. thing flying in my face. Alright. Kaboom. That's near death. That one's fine. So let's attack this guy. Eater. Knock him down.
This isn't work.
Kana. Kill that man. Alright, thank you. Ooh, boy. Alright, that's terrifying. I'm sure there's more sanity going on here. Fuck, it reeks of awful. Great. Why do the crazed patients have knives? Who does that? Hold on. Quick save. Yeah, let's keep rolling. Yeah, everyone smile out, please. You guys. Shit. Okay, good.
What?
Alright. Everybody get him. Yeah. Damage. I'm gonna make a beeline down to this guy's place. Yeah, there's lots of screaming going on. That's wonderful. Admanazo. Been experimenting on patients against the wills, mangling the souls. I've witnessed with my own eyes. How could you possibly? Look, it had to be done. Athelimer and the others, they took everything from me. Everything that when I was this close, I had to know. I had to know where I failed and why. Imagine the valley if I'd succeeded. If I had something I could make all those hollow infants into something like a real person. A few more pages and a few years research, who knows? No one has come that close with the legacy. That's why I have to continue. Why I have to risk everything here working in secret. That's why you have to lie to Athelimer for me. You tell him he cleared me of all suspicion. Wouldn't expose you for what you've
Then
done.
I can't let you get in my way either.
Alright. Why are you here? Not sure what he's planning there. What do you got in his notes? Next logical course. Yeah, of course they are. What is this thing? Alright, well. He's dead. He's deader. Seems like everybody's okay here. Oh no. Oh, frozen? What's going on here? Are they...
Gods keep you.
What? What is going on? Why is everybody just kind of hanging out doing nothing? Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Guns are so good. Eater, knock that guy down. Never mind. Oops, I hit the wrong button. Okay, good. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. Here's things are bugged. So you know what? I'm just gonna end this episode here, folks. We'll continue chasing this soul monster around, and hopefully catch him at some point in time. Because I don't get it, but we're gonna figure it out. See you folks later.